It's not your imagination. No, you're not black American. You wonder why they call you Jamaican when you're above all the other nations. It's not your imagination. No, you're not a Haitian. You wonder why they call you Puerto Rican when you're above all the other nations. It's not your imagination. They just wanna keep us down. They don't wanna see us with the crown. Judah mourneth in the gates thereof languish. They are blackened to the ground, yeah. They keep us low key, red that and no see. It's more to you than them dreads and them gold tee. I never cut my beard, forget a gold tee. Guard your spirit like a goalie.
Check. Welcome back to Four Corners News, where truth speaks. That's right. Welcome back. It was Officer Leon ripping that thing.
Man. Whew. He left that video smoking, man.
That's the
big shout out to my brothers, man. Bars on top of bars.
So let's get into the local news right here in Miami. Let's get it. Let's go. So let's check out the local news. Let's see what we got going on here in Miami. It was a doctor that was doctoring while black. You heard what I said, right? Doctoring while black and got locked up. Let's go to that. Let's go to the article, man. Read that for us, officer.
I want an apology. Black doctor.
I don't know damn apology. We need some recompense. Right. You know, you ain't getting that. Read that, man.
Black doctor who tests homeless for coronavirus handcuffed by Miami police.
He is now in his limited understanding of how to be righteous. He's trying to do a good deed.
Right.
A black doctor that tests the homeless.
Yeah. I work with that same program that doctor we about to talk about. What we do is we go to different, homeless sites. We take them in, we clean them up, and then put them back there because they mentally unstable.
Hey, you better watch out.
Yeah.
They might lock your ass up. You better watch out, Cap.
I'm covered by the blood.
If y'all see Cap Tavares on next week's show, y'all know what happened to him. Y'all see that prayers for him. The Rona police got him.
What's crazy is because everybody know. All the police officers know what we do. And they know different programs go out there and help the homeless. So
not on this day. Let's go back to it. Let's go to it. Let's see if we can play the video and hear the doctor speak his own words of what actually happened. Blow it up for us.
Now, democracynow.org, the quarantine report.
She looked like
I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from the epicenter of the pandemic, New York City, but we're going to end today's show in Florida, where the Miami Police Department is under fire after a video surfaced of an officer handcuffing and detaining an African-American doctor outside his home on Friday. The man, Armin Anderson, was wearing a mask and preparing for a volunteer shift, helping protect homeless people from the spread of COVID-19 when a patrol car pulled up to his home. Surveillance video from Dr. Henderson's house shows him loading a van with supplies before the encounter. Dr. Henderson says the police officer handcuffed him after accusing him of littering and then asking for identification, which Henderson did not have on him. The officer was not wearing a mask. Dr. Henderson was. He had to yell to his wife inside their home to present identification before the officer finally released him. On Saturday, Miami Police Chief
Corona going around. He ain't practicing social distance.
Incident. The officer involved has not been identified. The encounter sparked widespread outrage and comes as African-American men report fears of increased racial profiling when they're following the CDC's suggestion that people wear.
Oh man, what's going on, man? Doctor
For
and
more, we
Wild
go to
Black.
Miami to speak with Dr. Armin Henderson, an internal medicine physician, assistant professor of medicine at the University of Miami, also an organizer with Dream Defenders. He was recently profiled by the Miami Herald.
hear that brother's
Welcome to
resume?
Democracy Now!, Dr. Henderson. Tell us in your own words what you were doing on Friday and then what happened.
Listen, y'all.
Yeah, so I was pretty much just putting tents in my car, I was loading other supplies into my van, and while I was doing that, I noticed that the police officer rode down the street, that a cross section of my block, one way, really slow, and then he came back around the street the other way and basically turned down my block. And he pulled up next to me, questioning me if I lived there, if I worked here. I told him that I lived there. I told him what I was doing. I told him that, where I was putting the boxes was where the city of Miami comes to pick up our trash every week. For example, they're here this week, and people on my block are putting trash in the same place that I put the boxes.
Man, it was
Friday.
quick.
And he just, at some point, he just didn't believe what I was saying, or he thought that I was being disrespectful, and decided to get out of the car and escalate the situation. Once he got out of the car, go ahead.
Keep going.
Once he got out of the car, he asked me for ID, which I said I didn't have. And I was trying my best to keep cool during the situation, and remain steadfast on what I was doing, which was to be at downtown Miami delivering food and tents to homeless individuals that live downtown. And so I pretty much went ahead and continued to do what I was going to do, because I didn't know where this encounter was going. And then he just decided to put cuffs on me, basically. Once he put cuffs on me, I called for my wife. She came out and pretty much de-escalated the situation. But even before she came, he was like inches from my face, basically yelling that I should call him Sergeant, I should call him Sir. And with no mask on, he had no gloves on. I could feel his saliva on my lips. It was just a crazy encounter.
This is such a horrific.
Look at that. Because he didn't call him officer or sir or sergeant. That, you know why? Because they expect you Negroes to know your place. Know your place. Give me Deuteronomy 28, man. Deuteronomy 28:65.
That's crazy. He escalated the whole situation by himself.
Usually, like do look calm.
Usually, when cops do something, they always have backup with them. I didn't see not one police car in the back. He just said,
dude, and you can tell when somebody being aggressive by body language. Yeah, that dude was very calm, looked very cooperative, and he explained. He asked him for ID. He went and yelled to his wife, "Bring the ID,"
Right.
and he locked him up.
Yeah.
Before he could get it. Man, give me Deuteronomy. Read that. 28:65.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65.
For everybody that got all the college degrees and the money that think that protects you here in this captivity. Read that.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Even if you do go through the school system and you get the highest, a doctor is like one of the highest levels of education that you can get. The Lord said you still ain't going to be able to escape these curses. He's still going to give you a trembling heart and a sorrow of mind. Even in your so-called middle class life, you still can't escape these curses. God is telling you still gotta repent. You still got to. Read that verse 66 on down.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Now, you heard that from the doctor. He said, I didn't know where this situation was going to go. He's a doctor, y'all. You know how much he probably make a year? He probably makes 6 figures a year, but even he knows that if he sees a cop and he's black in America, bring it out. That could be the end of his life. Like that. Still, nigga. That's heavy, man. Read on.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
That was it right there. He had none assurance for his life. Read on.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
So even doctoring while black can get you locked up here in Miami, man. Doctoring while black. It's safe for black folk to stay in the house regardless of corona. Amazing.
Damn. For real.
Regardless, man, that's crazy. Doctoring while black and he got locked up. DWP, what'd you say? DWP? He wasn't even driving.
Right.
He was coronaing while black. That's crazy.
Corona.
That's local news here in Miami. Let's hit the international news and let's see what we got going on. In the international news, I don't know if y'all heard, Trump is he ain't throwing idle words out there no more. He told the Navy that if the Iran ships, the gunboats, mess with y'all Navy ships, to blow their ass out the water. Yeah. That's what he said, yo. Them is fighting words. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now. Them's fighting words.
Bring it out.
Hey, so the Iranians, which God called the Carmanians, they had a response for that. Let's see what they talking about in the international news. Bring that article up. Read that for us, officer.
U.S. warships will be destroyed if they threaten any Iranian vessel. Iran's Revolutionary Guards chief.
He said, hey, you want to throw big words out there? Well, I got something for you, too. That's war talk right there, because I guarantee you right now, if anybody destroys anybody warship, that's an act of war. That's a declaration of war right there. Like, we ready. What's up? Bring it on. Let's go to the article. Let's read that. Read that.
Iran will not hesitate to retaliate against the U.S. Navy if it attacks any Iranian vessel.
Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. America has already, tilt the balance already. Iran's already on edge.
They're ready to go. They don't give a damn. They killed one of their primary generals. They said, listen, we coming for your head. I want
Bring
you
it out.
Cross this line.
Yeah.
Hey, you cross this line. Go ahead. I'm waiting. I got these nukes waiting on you.
Man, go back to that article. Read that real quick.
Tehran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps commander has warned, responding to a similar threat by Trump. I have ordered our naval forces to destroy any American naval force in the Persian Gulf that threatens the security of Iran's military or non-military ships, Major General Hossein Salami said on Thursday, as cited by Tasnim news agency.
Read that right there, Salami.
Salami was responding to U.S. President Donald Trump, who said that he had issued an order on Wednesday to destroy.
Issued an order? Now, you know what? Now, if the president gives an order, the Navy commander cannot disobey that order. He got to fire off.
Bring it out.
Read on. Go back to it.
Destroy any and all Iranian gunboats if they harass our ships at sea.
Man, go to 2nd Esdras. Go to 2nd Esdras, and I want you to read chapter 15, and I want you to read verse 20.
2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 20.
Read it out. Verse 18.
Verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me.
He's going to call together the kings of the earth. Read on.
Which are from the rising of the sun.
Rising of the sun is where? Where's the sun rise at? In the east. Where's Iran? In the east.
Bring it out.
Read on.
From the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another.
To do what?
to turn themselves one against another.
Now, y'all see, you might take those as just idle words that Trump said and that the Iranian government said. Those ain't just idle words. That is God moving the chess pieces on the chessboard to bring all of them to turn themselves one against another.
Bring it on. And repay the things that they have done to them, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord God.
Jump down to verse 30.
Verse 30.
Verse 29 and 30. Read that.
Verse 29. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia,
the Arabs, go ahead,
shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also, the Carmanians.
The Carmanians are who? The Iranians. That's why, man, I'm telling y'all better wake up and smell the coffee. What's that coffee you be talking about, Cap Severus?
Oh, Folgers.
The Folgers.
That's right.
Waking up. Folgers in your cup.
We do not own the rights to that song. Y'all think it's just idle talk with America and Iran keep going back and forth all the time? That ain't just idle talk. That is Lord setting up the end to come. Bring it out. Read that again, man. The Carmanians.
Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come.
Now, have you ever seen a boar go that is wild go forth? Watch it. Google on YouTube an Edomite fighting a wild boar. Yeah. Them wild boars is crazy. They reckless. They don't stop. God is comparing the Iranians to how that wild boar is when it's attacking. Read on.
And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
Read on.
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
So once you get these Arabs, now you know how the Arabs get down. They will Allah Akbar your ass. Boom. In a heartbeat. You get them with some pissed off Iranians because you killed their general. Oh, they're going to do what? What it say? They're going to do what?
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
They once used to run the earth, that they used to rule, and they ain't going to be in subjection to no red people no more on the face of the earth. And they're going to say, you know what? Let's fight.
Yeah.
Let's fight.
And that part where they will have the upper hand, meaning they will have the advantage, that unity that they have, meaning, listen, we all praising Allah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know what? Let's go ahead and wipe them off the map.
Okay. It's going down.
That's the upper hand they have. And plus, even when a lot of U.S. Bases are there in their land, so with that advantage as well. They right next door. They got 200. Listen,
they already blew up one of them.
300.
Trump lied and said, "Oh, nobody was injured," but reports say 60 or 70 people died. Bring it out. Bomb you in the middle of the night and nobody happens to be there. Come on, man. You ain't fooling us with that. Hey, pull up the video of the wild boar. Let's see how a wild boar gets down.
Hey, this boy tore him.
Oh, man, I watched that. That's the one, man. It tore his ass up.
Over again, man. It tore his ass up. Look at this.
This only equals stuff like
who was fighting wild boar?
Come on.
He just got
something to go there.
Hey, I didn't know wild boars were like that, though. But look, God's saying that these Iranians are going to be like a wild boar. Relentless. And look, the kids are trying to jump too. The kids, look at get off my deck.
I don't fight one-on-one, I jump.
You can't look at that, man.
What they saying.
I'm telling you.
Stand them up. Watch this.
It won't stop.
Nope. He's always want to try to control something. Look at him.
Now look at him. Look at him when he get up. He's like, Lord.
Bit him in the face.
Ooh, that shit hurts.
Yeah, you damn right. Right.
Jack this ass.
That's so damn.
We used to scream Black Power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.